Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I don't know why my camera's bobbing. I'm trying to fix that. I can't get it to stabilize. Eating a candy bar. Today we're talking about swimming. Oh, I'm Stephanie Bree, by the way. Swimming is a thing animals do to survive when they're in the wild. And for some ungodly reason, humans do for recreation? Question mark? So normally, there are, I would say maybe a third, socially acceptable occurrences where humans can swim for so-called recreation, and it's not because you fell off the canoe. What are you doing on a canoe? Anyways, that's another video. We're not meant to be in the water. We're mammals. We're land animals. We don't belong in the water. But some of us like to go in the water for whatever reason. And so you have two and a half socially acceptable occurrences where you can swim. The first one is obviously the swimming pool. Swimming pools come in a couple of varieties. You have the indoor swimming pool, which can be heated or not. Depends on where you're at. You have the outdoor swimming pool, which is heated by the sun. And then you have the backyard swimming pool, which can be a concrete pool. It can be a wood pool. It can be a little piece of plastic that you fill up. A little kiddie pool, as they call it. It's basically ankle deep if you're an adult. Yeah. So let's take them one by one. Let's start with the backyard pool and work our way to the public pool. Your backyard pool, like I said, it comes in a couple of varieties. You have the poor person's backyard pool, which is what we had. This little round piece of plastic that you throw in the backyard and fill it up with a hose. You sit in it. You don't swim it. It's not a swimming pool. They call it a kiddie pool. You just sit in it. You can splash. You can lie down, I guess, and pretend to swim. Then you have the adult version of this, which is made out of wood. It's basically a hot tub for your backyard, but it doesn't have jets or heaters. Just this big tub of water. Again, you don't really swim in it. You just sort of wade in it, I guess. But this is for, middle-class people that want to pretend they're rich and they want to have a swimming pool, but they don't have the money for a proper swimming pool. And then you have the rich person's swimming pool, which is a real swimming pool. Concrete. Indoor, outdoor, doesn't matter. It's a swimming pool. You have pool parties, and that's basically all it is. That and, they're good for murdering toddlers from irresponsible parents who don't put a gate on them. But that's not what their purpose is. But that is what they do. Now, depending on how much privacy your backyard affords you, will determine if you have any privacy when you're in the backyard pool or not. If you don't have a backyard, the kiddie pool goes in the front yard, and then you're just on display for the whole neighborhood. Who wants to do that? I don't know. I'm not a fan of any of these types of pools. The kiddie pools obviously are for babies, basically. Toddlers. I'm not a toddler, so I don't have any use for it. The wooden hot tub pool can usually house about 5 or 6 adults, give or take. But it's pretty cramped, and everybody's bumping elbows. I'm not a fan of this. And then the normal rich person swimming pool, I've never been in because I'm not a rich person and I'm not friends with any rich people. So I have no experience with this one, unfortunately. Then you have public pools. Public pools, again, they come in a couple of varieties. You've got like these semi-private public pools that are housed inside of like YMCAs and Gold's Gym and places like that. You have to have a membership to access. These may or may not be temperature controlled. It depends on, the facility. These do not offer you any sort of privacy at all. For one, you're in a public place. Even though it is semi-exclusive in that you have to have a membership to gain access. Membership is not expensive, so other people have access. So there's other people there. These are usually pretty crowded. Now you can they're deep enough and wide enough and tall enough and long enough. You can swim in these pools and actually swim like a person. Well, like a fish, I guess. Maybe a mermaid. Because people don't swim. We're not supposed to swim. We're land animals. But anyways, people do it, I guess, for whatever reason. And you're also, even if you're the only person there, you're not the only person there because there's always a lifeguard watching you swim. So you don't have privacy in these either. The other type of public pool you have is the municipal pool. This one is owned, operated, and funded by the local city government. Or some local nonprofit or something of this sort. These ones are basically open to the public. The only way you gain access, though, is to pay a small fee. It's usually like $1 or so, depending on the municipality and, demand, etc. Again, these pools tend to be crowded. They tend to be outdoor pools. Occasionally, they have amenities like a slide or, jumping boards for diving off of for whatever reason. But because these are accessible to essentially anyone, including poor people, these are hella crowded. Again, no sort of privacy regardless of time of day or year you go swimming. And again, you got the nosy lifeguard watching you the entire time. So why do people swim? I don't understand it. I can't fathom it. The second socially acceptable instance or occurrence of swimming is at the beach, the lake, the ocean, the river bed, the pond, if if that's all you have. This is basically you have access to a body of water, and there's usually some sort of designated beach area with a sectioned off area for the swimming area, as it's called. Now, the beach swimming is probably the least ideal of them all. Because not only is it not temperature controlled, so depending on the time of day and time of year, it could be freezing ass cold water, even if it's hot outside. Which means, yeah, that sucks. You're swimming in the fucking cold. And there's all kinds of downsides to that. Second of all, they're usually cornered off pieces of the beach that is covered in sand. Which means you're walking through sand to get to them barefoot. Usually hot ass sand that you have to walk through barefoot because you don't want to wear your shoes in the water. Unless you're a monster. And so that's an uncomfortable experience. Just getting into the water is uncomfortable. You got to burn your feet on the sand and get sand all over your toes. And then you got to get into the icy ass cold water. You can either wade in like a dumbass or jump right in like an idiot. You don't have a choice. There is no in between. You're either a dumbass or an idiot. There is no justification for swimming in a fucking outdoor body of water, a natural body of water. We're not fish. We're not dolphins. We're not sharks. Again, no such thing as privacy, but again, you can tune out the people, I guess. You don't care. You're there. You don't care. Whatever. But there's not much to do here. The area is cornered off, usually by ropes and bobbers, to keep you from drowning and to keep the boats from chopping your head off. You know, because if you go out too far and you go out into the boating area, you're going to die. So don't do it unless you're trying to die. And they're usually pretty deep. You can drown in these more often than not. I mean, regardless of how good of a swimmer you are, there's such things as undercurrents. And if you've ever seen Jaws or any shark movie, you know there are predators in the water that want to eat you because you don't belong in the water and you're in their space. And they don't want you there. Why are you there? I don't understand it. The third, which is, I said 2.5, semi-socially acceptable occurrence of swimming is when teenagers go out to the lake at night and skinny dip. But that's all I'm going to say about that. I will never, ever in my entire life fathom why land monkeys want to get in the water. Because that's what we are. We're great apes, according to science. We don't belong in the water. We don't. We're land animals. This, dirt, wood, concrete, rocks, grass. Stay out of the water.